So I want to comment a little bit about sexism. Now, of course, this is a very important topic to me, simply because I am a male. I am a man, and so I experience sexism quite a bit. Um, in my opinion, okay, and this isn't this is just my opinion. Sexism is a belief that there are differences other than physical characteristics between men and women. That's sexism. I don't like the idea of manly duties or womanly duties or things that a man must do or things that a woman must do or things that a man can't do or things that a woman can't do. I don't believe it. Um, I am a bit biased. I was raised by a woman. I did have my dad in my life for a long time. Um, but primarily, she was the one at home, and she raised me. Um, so I know for a fact that women can do whatever they want to do. They can do just as much as a man can do. There's female bodybuilders that I'm sure can lift way more weight than some men. Um, now, of course, there is a whole upper body strength being more for a man and things of that nature. Generally, I think women are smaller in stature than men. But those are physical characteristics, you know. Mentally, emotionally, I don't think there's a difference. I don't think. Now, there have been studies that show that women and men think differently. We may communicate differently. But that doesn't mean that women can do things that men can do, and that men can do things that women can do. You can't help but think that because of the differences in brain chemistry and things like that, there are some things that women are better at. There are things that men are better at. But both sexes can still handle the job. Okay. And so in this particular instance, we're talking about basically upper body strength, being bigger. And the idea is that, if a man hits a woman, it's horrible because, of course, generally men are stronger. If a woman hits a man, generally it's not such a big deal because women are weaker. Now, they have taken steps in the past to rectify this, but socially it's still not resolved as far as I'm concerned. In public, if someone witnesses a woman hitting a man, usually no one will stop to rescue the man. They probably won't call the police. However, if a man is seen in the street hitting a woman, it's more likely that some man, or sometimes even another woman, will step in and defend the woman, or perhaps maybe even call the police on the man. Also, too, there's this idea that if a man attacks a woman and she fights back and he is afflicted with some sort of damage, that was self-defense. If a woman hits a man and he fights back and she's inflicted with some sort of damage, he just beat her up. And I mean, that's sexist. That's sexist. I know I've personally been turned down from daycare positions, babysitting jobs, secretary positions, things of that nature because I'm a man. I know it's because I'm a man. Because traditionally those roles are filled by women. Not to mention there are a lot of male bosses and guys who own their own businesses that want the pretty girl working there just so he can maybe look at her or maybe attract clients with her pretty smile or whatever. And womanly voice. I mean, we can't get around the fact that women are attractive. They are physically appealing to look at, smell, and hear. Um, but sexism says that men can't do the same thing. That men aren't pleasant to hear. Even though I've heard that I have a pleasant voice. And I know for a fact there are men out there that women like to look at, and some guys like to look at. So men can be physically appealing as well. So also too on the child custody front. I mean, my goodness. I mean, the child is almost always given to the mother for custody, and the man has to fight for it, not the other way around. That's sexist. Okay. There's another aspect to it too. Prostitution. If a woman prostitutes herself and she manages her own business, okay, and I'm talking about a legitimate prostitute that that has not a legitimate business, but she's not, it's not walking the street corner. She's set up as a business. She may be accepting credit cards. She has her own website, her own 800 number. She's set up as a business. May even be paying sales tax. Okay, if she's caught doing this, she's charged with prostitution, which is a petty misdemeanor, much of nothing. If a man is caught doing this, all of a sudden it's a different charge, and in some cases it's even a felony. And again, that's sexism. Okay. Um, if I thought hard enough about it, I can come up with numerous of examples about how men are treated differently than women in courts and just by society in general. That's sexist. That's sexist. And no different than everyone wants to consider themselves a non-racist, anti-racist. I mean, I think it's a good thing. I think that we should view people for the content of their character. Who they are as people, and not who they are as gender or color or ethnicity or anything like that. It is human nature that we must make distinctions between people, objects, and the like. But to keeping an open mind about those people and those objects, I think is crucial. So no different than we do our best to stamp out racism. I think it's important that we stamp out sexism. And you know what? That even goes towards this traditional idea of a man asking a woman out, man asking to marry, man holding the door for a woman. I mean, again, that goes back to upper body strength. If the door is heavy and she can't open it, okay, well, yeah, you open it for her. But are there doors still in America that women can't open? I mean, is that what's going on? Are there doors so heavy that they're just struggling to open? I mean, there are some men out there that who may be disabled or up in age that struggle with opening doors. Why not open doors for them? Why not teach your sons and daughters to open doors for them? I have a big problem with this idea. Standing up when a woman leaves a table, pulling her chair out for her as if the chair is so heavy she can't do it herself. I mean, those are little nice things that we should be doing for each other. But sexism doesn't allow women to do it for men, and that's where I have a problem. There's nothing wrong with teaching your children and saying that it's nice to do those things, to hold doors open, to pull out chairs, be polite. But when you teach men to do it for women and not women to do it for men, and you teach women to expect it and not teach men to expect it, that's where sexism comes in at, and that's what I have a problem with. Of course, my phone would ring while I'm doing a video. Anyway, that's the first time that's happened. So, I kind of did this just touching on the subject. Again, I can go on and on about this, give, numerous of examples. But I'm kind of doing this, hopefully, you kind of think about it and maybe comment or whatever. Just something to think about. Racism is no different than sexism. It's just a belief that there is a inherent difference between two individuals based solely on their gender or color or ethnicity, other than physical characteristics, of course. All right, so that's it.